This is the Randomer Nintendo Podcast, episode 83 for April 28th, assuming I get this out on time. My name is Kevin. I'll be one of your hosts. To my virtual left, as always, Angel.
This is actually episode 83. I feel like we've been getting it wrong the last couple times because of Jason.
Well, Jason didn't pipe up and say anything, so I'm going to assume it's 83. To my virtual right,
so it's sabotage.
Jason.
It's true.
Oh, hi. Yeah, no, it is 83. Sorry, I was just basking in the fact that we got it right. It is 83. I manually changed it this afternoon and double-checked that it stayed changed, and it did.
To my virtual front is Elvis.
83 episodes, all four of us. That's crazy. I'm proud of us.
Yeah,
You're not. No, this isn't an Urkel. So
in theory, he was with us in spirit. I don't think there has been an episode where we didn't mention Elvis.
there's been a couple. It's been interesting to track the progression of Angel being like my brother and I to Elvis and I to Elvis just materializing on the podcast. And I've gone through a similar track, but we haven't gotten her here yet. Where I used to say, like my girlfriend, my fiance, my wife, Rachel. I got to the point where I just say Rachel, so next she'll be on the podcast.
But to Kevin's point, I'm pretty sure like there's a 90% of the episodes I probably use some form of, Elvis, my brother or something. And you've run the gamut from my SO, my partner.
I've never said SO. I've never said teammate. I've never said player two.
My Nana.
My Nana. Isn't that like a grandmother? Or Nana?
Oh, you're
not
said any of these.
Ice climbers. Okay, I'll take that one, sure.
To your point, Jason, there's that John Mulaney joke where it was the stand-up special right after he got married, where he was talking about how he loves saying "my wife" because it's so much better than going "Can my girlfriend come?"
Oh,
he's like, my wife just has more kick-ass to it, you know?
I mean, it definitely the first couple times after I got married where I'm like, my wife, I like literally like verbally did a double take. It's like, oh, yeah,
to be fair,
that is now my wife.
When someone says that too, like I feel more obligated, like I have to say yes, even if I don't want to. Versus if it was like, can my girlfriend come? I could be like, nah, this is the boys. But I mean, I know I could do that.
Elvis and I are definitely have told some people, "Can my wife come?" And we're like, it's a boys. It's a boys.
Actually, right. If it's the wife, I guess it should be easier to say that, right? In theory.
I mean,
in theory, but just because they have a wife, it's not an automatic yes.
But I guess it means that
if you offend the girlfriend, the girlfriend could up and leave. If you offend the wife, there's court documents have to happen before they can up and leave. So it is easier to say no to someone's wife in a way.
You can just be separated. And
that's all about communication.
Yeah, that's true. It is all about communication.
It's not a lot, but I could count on one hand the number of times when Jason's SO couldn't come meant that Jason himself couldn't come either.
But, it's rare, but it does sometimes.
Me and Elvis just went through one of those.
I mean, there's a lot of times that's the other way around, and you do invite Rachel along, and then she's not able to go because she has work or other things, and then I just show up anyway. But
I mean, sometimes it'd be cool if only Rachel joined.
I know. I feel like you're actually angling every time. You're like, Rachel, you should come. You're like, please shield me from Jason, and then I just show up without her.
My husband come.
Only if you're the one. Only if you're the buffer. But anyway.
Yeah. How have you guys been doing?
Pretty good.
Okay, that's two pretty goods and a good.
And I didn't say it. I noticed the last couple episodes, now that there's four of us, now that we got Elvis on board, we talk over each other a little more. So I was very conscious of like, I'll let you go. Especially after last episode where I was called out for commandeering hosting. I'm trying to be very mindful of this episode. Let us know. Tweet us at Ram Nintendo after this episode if Jason's mindful or not. Just tweet, Jason is mindful. Or Jason doesn't care about anyone but himself. No in-betweens. Just either of those options.
Oh, I don't think there is an in-between, but...
There is no in-between. Either I'm mindful or I'm only child to the nth degree.
It's been nice and chill. Maybe, I don't want to say a little too chill, but I haven't played as much 33 as I would have liked in the last 2 weeks. I just feel like I've had chances to, but, the time was there, but, it was either spent organizing or sleeping, and it feels like the kind of game... not that it feels the kind of game. It is the kind of game I don't want to just, force to play if I don't feel like I'm fully up to it. It's just kind of a bummer that I'm not always in the mood, because it's a little dramatic of a story sometimes when it's not being funny randomly, whether it's been intended or not. But it sounds like I'm almost there. Based on what the characters are saying, it feels like I'm close to the end game. But
you're gonna have to tell me exactly where you are after the show, because last time you said that you weren't even at the end
nowhere
of
near
Act
it.
1.
Oh yeah, but that was I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Okay. We'll see.
Yeah. This one feels genuine. This one feels
okay.
Yeah.
Elvis, you've been sculpting.
Yeah, I've been sculpting more. I guess just be more productive now that I have all my stuff in the studio.
The new studio. Yeah, it was nice. I still am like weirded out by the transition of the floor in the den to a solid concrete block back down to like vinyl flooring. It feels so weird.
That was
because they because they
Like,
retrofitted an outdoor patio, right?
It just the Footfeel is just
Footfeel.
so odd.
Get that.
Yeah, Kevin was a cat stepping on foil.
Yeah, basically, it was like it's just so odd.
Were you not wearing shoes?
No, I was wearing shoes.
Even through the shoes, the foot feel was that odd.
You could feel stuff through the shoes, Jason.
Yeah, I know.
Well, because
if I'm going on carpet.
If I'm going from a house to the outside of the house, I know that I'm going to be stepping on carpet, right?
Right.
We're still technically inside the house.
Like, what is this?
We're still inside.
Site?
Yeah.
Right. Now, because now it is inside. It was outside, but now it is
great.
inside because they put a structure on top of. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it's a fake out almost. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right, cool. Jason,
it's a little feel.
What was that else?
No, I was just saying it's a little feel of the outside. Like you get to reminisce about it, even though you're inside.
I remember when there were more concrete slabs I stood on, and now there's just the one. What a time. To answer your question, Kevin, I've been good. Nothing too. I've been mourning the wind down of the Mario Galaxy movie hype in the sense of there's all these billboards and all these spots that had Mario Galaxy stuff and now don't. And every time I drive by, I'm like, that was Luigi on his motorcycle sticking off the top of that billboard, and now it's Sheep Detective.
Did you get a shot of the ones at Citadel?
No, I never made it over there. Are they still there?
No, but they look really great. Like,
did you take any pictures?
I almost
the Citadel, the one by your place.
Yeah, because like there was like 4 giant screens, and each of them had like one of the major characters, and they had like some stuff in between them, and it actually looked pretty cool. I almost turned around to,
You almost pulled a Jason.
Almost, but then I'm like, wait, what am I doing? And then I just went home.
I can't tell you guys how many times I saw some sort of Mario ad, be it for the movie, the first time, the movie, this time, the 4th anniversary stuff, and I like either dramatically and safely swerved off the road, or I like circled back, or I like did laps in the case of something on the 405. What do I do with these photos? Mostly nothing. Occasionally I'll post a couple if they seem interesting, but there's something.
Last time, how many tickets did you get from cops for these dangerous maneuvers?
0 tickets in both instances because I'm a law-abiding lane swerver. I will make sure the lane is clear and then go Mario and swerve or Toad. I think I'm just wired in this weird way where I'm so used to Nintendo not doing like physical outdoor marketing ever, that anytime I see it, no matter how many times they've now done it, I'm always like, whoa, that's so crazy. They never do that, even though they do it so much now. So every time I'm like, oh, I got to document this. This is so unusual and rare, even though it's very common now. Like Switch 2 had billboards. They had a random Pikmin billboard on Sunset Boulevard that was just the Sprouts. Every single one. It's been for years. I stop and take a picture. They had a bus wrap of Pikmin on the city buses. I think I talked about it on the show before. The city tour buses that goes through Beverly Hills, not far from here. I waited for the bus to do its route to get the picture because this is so rare and kind of cool. Like I have a problem and I need help, but also I am now in, like I said, a state of mourning because all the billboards are going away. There's one left. And I'm not weird enough that I salute the billboard when I go by. Don't worry, I have my limits. But I definitely mourn when it's not there. So that's how I've been.
This past Friday was a national holiday here in the U.S. April 20th, 420. Did you guys celebrate? Did you guys partake,
brother?
I do not partake in said activities because I'm too busy chasing down billboards.
I thought it was Tuesday.
420. That is the release date.
It was just another. It
2018.
was just another Monday. 2018.
Yep.
April 20th, 2018 was the release date of
the revamped God
the
of War.
the revamp. Do you guys call it a revamp or reboot? What do you guys call it internally?
True, spill the beans.
Just God of War 2018. I guess that's how I've heard it referred to before, like online and stuff like that. Okay, I went to Disneyland.
Wait,
on
you?
Monday. Yeah.
You? When's the last time you went to Disney? I feel like that's so rare unless like
He went with
you're
us?
dragged there.
Yeah, I went with you guys with
To World, and I remember you
Eric.
saying I haven't gone to anything like
No.
this since high school, or something like that.
No, not Disney World. It was
He went to the California Adventure one, right?
to California Adventure. Yeah, we went.
And
with
I remember you
Eric
say, well, I
Gilbert.
still remember you saying you never like go.
Yeah, the last time that I had been to Disneyland was as they were constructing California Adventure.
Yeah, it's like
Or
2003.
before. Yeah. So that was the last time that I had gone. No, but a coworker of mine, she got tickets because she knows somebody that works at iHeartRadio, and I guess 98.7 specifically
It's all
the show in
rigged.
the morning, was doing like California Adventure after dark. So the park stayed open until 1 a.m.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so we got there pretty late. We got there like at 6 p.m. And funnily enough, we did not have to pay for parking. I just told the guy, he's like, "Hey, we're here for the after dark thing." And he's like, "Oh, would you have tickets?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we showed him the tickets." And he goes, "Oh, okay, sure, yeah, here you go. Here's a free parking ticket." And we just got in with
What?
the free parking. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then took the shuttle obviously over, and we had a special entrance. It wasn't a special entrance, just they dedicated like the last 3 lines to this special event, so we got like a wristband. So around 9 p.m. when the employees were doing their sweep, they were asking everybody if they had the wristband, that way they could stay over for the extra 3 hours. I would probably only ever go back if I could do that again, because Tower of Terror was like a 30-minute wait, or Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever that.
It'll
whatever it's
always
called.
be Tower of Terror in our hearts.
Yeah,
The original theme was so much
Tower
better.
of Terror was only like 30-minute wait, and then the Incredicoaster was only like 20 minutes.
Wow. That
Yeah.
sounds like very similar to
it
how
is.
FanFest night at Universal breaks down, where they stay open late and they do special stuff, but then regular rides are open and the lines are like non-existent. So there's something definitely
Oh, I
to
didn't
be
know the
said
rides
for
were
these
open
limited
during
entries.
FanFest.
At least some of them are. Yeah, the majority, half,
That's cool.
a good number. Yeah.
The real tower are the terrors you make along the way.
Yeah, they unfortunately shut off a lot of the concessions. I think around like 10 p.m. Because I was DD for the 3 other people that went. But still, they were trying to find like the cucumber beer, and couldn't find any concessions that was open past 10 p.m., which kind of sucked for them. But like I said, I was already DD, so it was fine for me, I guess. Oh no, the Pim bar, whatever it's called, the one in Avengers Land, whatever it's called.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
they were
Pim,
still-
Pim with an M, I think.
They were still
that's what
they were still open like past 10 p.m. I think they were the only ones. Yeah,
that's
because
our go-to spot for drinks usually when we go.
yeah, they got a couple of drinks, and then we waited in line for Tower of Terror.
I've
Tower
never
of
been
Terror
in
is a funny
Pim's.
one. Tower of Terror is a funny one because I'm always so nervous to get on that ride before, but afterwards I just want to keep going.
It is really short.
Okay, do you prefer the drop? So there, for those not versed in Disney, there was Tower of Terror, which had a Twilight Zone theme. And then there was Guardians of the Galaxy Galactic Breakout, or whatever it's called, which has a Guardians theme. Mission Breakout. The Guardians one, they changed how the drops worked. They made it smoother and you kind of go up and down more. And the Tower of Terror one had fewer but bigger and kind of clunkier drops. Which do you prefer? Or which ultimately are you finding to be the more enjoyable?
I never excuse me. I never got on Tower of Terror.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I only got on Mission Breakout, and the one that we went to, I think was like Halloween themed because that's when we went, right? Like around Halloween.
Oh, years ago? Yeah.
It was either Angel's last birthday? Year or 2 years ago, maybe.
When we went for Angel's birthday? Longer than that. Or did you go a separate time with the guys?
Last time I was in California was in Angel's birthday,
which was like 23 or 2.
It was at least.
It was that long ago?
Yeah.
It was a while ago. Yeah, because that was the last time I did anything for my birthday. That used to be a normal thing. Yeah.
But yeah, by then it was the new Mission Breakout theme.
Is it? I'm sure it sounds, based on what you were saying, Kim, or maybe you too, Jason. It sounds like it's just me, but like, I don't know. I honestly can't.
How do we feel about birthday celebrations?
Oh, no. About Mission Breakout.
About Mission Breakout.
Like, it always felt not as intense than the Twilight Zone version. And even then, I remembered towards the end, before it changed to Mission Breakout, the Twilight Zone version not feeling like it once did. Like, I don't know, pretty much like, maybe it was because I was a lot younger when I first wrote it, but there was a point at some point while it was still Twilight Zone that ride in particular, any kind of those like indoor elevator rides, just felt like, oh, is this going to be the big drop? Oh, that was not that big. Or maybe this one's it. Oh, that's not that big. And then that's kind of how it was. Like, that's how it's been for me every time since then. Like, the only time I'm ever able to capture any sense of thrill from those rides is in Supreme Scream. And I hate Supreme Scream because of the suspense it gives you. But that's the only one that gives me any kind of like, like I feel like I'm gonna die. Although I will say the Doctor Doom one from Orlando, that one was really cool because it just gave me a new sensation of, what if we shoot you up really fast and you're looking down, and before you even have time to process how high you're going, we're already like kind of doing the descent. So that was just really fun. But I just feel like that elevator Mission Breakout ride I don't know. It was always just okay.
I think
so. Circus is a lot like what you just mentioned.
Circus.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah. So they have
wait.
Casually walking through it.
They have a tower. They have a tower ride, and I don't know. Back when I was, man, this is probably over.
You're not thinking of Stratosphere, are you? You mean in Circus?
But will you listen to the goddamn story, Jason?
Stop trying to host.
That wasn't me trying to host. I was asking a question.
So Circus, they have a tower ride, right? Just like a drop ride. As soon as you walk in, and my dad tells me and my brother to get on it, and we're like, whatever, okay, we'll get on it. It'll slowly put the fear of God into us as it's like slowly going up, because we didn't really see the ride. Every single time that we would take a glance at it, it's just people dropping, right? And it's a pretty small drop compared to like Supreme Scream or what's the one at Six Flags? The Lex Luthor one? The Drop of Doom at Six Flags. So we're like, okay, yeah, we'll get on it, whatever. It'll be like 5 seconds of, even less, right? It'll be like 2 seconds of a drop. But we didn't know, which my dad did, was you strap in and that thing launches you up in the air. It's not a slow ascent. It immediately, you're going up 60 miles an hour all the way to the top. And it took us by surprise. And I just remember being scared shitless like all the way at the top, like telling myself, what the hell did like me and my brother just get into? And we look down and my dad's just cackling because he knew that we didn't see that initial part. And then not only that, it's like, okay, now I have the fear of God in me. Now we're going down, and that felt like forever on the ascent. So how was the descent gonna feel? And yeah, it was just terrible. I've also gone on Drop of Doom. That one really sucked because it was myself, our buddy Celso, and this couple of friends of ours. And it was towards the end of our day at Six Flags. So nobody was in line. So we pretty much immediately got on. And the entire time, Celso, you guys have met Celso. Celso's like, don't worry, Gomi. It's going to be fine. We're going to be okay. Like, don't worry about it. Because, like I'm telling you, these suspension rides, I'm scared just shitless up until, the points afterwards. Roller coasters I can do no problem. But these suspension rides get me. So I'm just like nervous. I'm like pacing back and forth. And Celso's like, Gomi, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We get on the ride. Literally, as soon as our feet stop touching the ground, Celso goes, Gomi, I'm scared. I'm terrified. This is the worst thing ever. and it broke me. I just said, Celso, I need you to shut the up right now, because now I'm definitely going to punch you, because that, like, the fact that this friend of mine was like, don't worry, it's going to be okay, going to immediately go, his first words were, Gomi, fear. I'm scared. And it scared the hell out of me. And oh god, not only that, but Drop of Doom
scared the vocabulary out of them.
Drop of Doom, like you're swaying in the air like 4 feet each side because Superman's going on at the same time, because it's just on the side of the Superman ride. It was terrible. Yeah, suspension.
Yeah, but it is cool though. Like, I kind of wish the fact that it did accelerate really high up, the Doctor Doom Drop of Doom. I don't know what that one's called. Mm-hmm. It was still really fun. I really liked that ride, but I kind of wish like that was a surprise. Like in retrospect, I think that was, I don't know.
Like you wish that you didn't know that it did the
yeah, because that would have really
super ascent.
Yeah, because by default, just by looking at the ride, like I don't think I managed to catch. I don't think I caught it in action as we were getting in line. I just assumed like, oh, it's just gonna be a Supreme Scream. So like that was like my mentality going in. Well, that was my first time in Florida.
No, but I'm saying like, had you, because I feel like it was a convincing point to mention that it would shots you up so that you could ride it, because we know you hate.
Oh no, I would have gone on it regardless. Like every time I go to Knott's Berry Farm, as much as I hate that feeling, or I guess it's just scary. I guess that's all it is. Like I still always get on it. Yeah, because like no other ride gives me that kind of like fear. Like maybe like oh, the nut is getting the screw is going loose.
Oh,
or whatever.
Like
precarious wording. Like it feels like the harness is gonna like fly open. I'm gonna like fall forward.
Right.
Like especially like when it, like you hear like not the gas release or like the air pressure, and you're there for like a couple seconds. Like that's always like the worst part. But I always get on it. Like I just my typical, I guess like mode of operandi is just get on every ride. But I typically won't do re-rides. Like after I ride it, I'll get on any ride, doesn't matter which one. But if people are like, oh, I'm gonna go for seconds later, I'll be like, I'll pass. But I'll still get on it again the next time. And yes, I would have gotten on this one regardless. And I think I did. Oh, I mean, but yeah, like I was gonna get on that one like regardless, and it was really cool.
No, would you have gotten it again? Rewrite it?
Velocicoaster, yes. The Stardust Racers, nah.
Really?
Interesting.
Velocicoaster is easily the best roller coaster I ever.
Velocicoaster is amazing. Yeah,
Stardust is pretty good.
No, I mean Stardust is really cool, but I guess like if a ride makes me feel, I guess I am, it's a thrill-seeking part of it where like I do want to feel like I'm about to die, but once I get that feeling, I'm like, it's satisfied. Like I don't need it again. And it takes a while for that meter to refill. before I want to feel like that. And Stardust Racer definitely felt way more unsafe than Velocicoaster.
Which one
Well,
is Stardust Racer?
Stardust is in
It's in
Epic
Epic
Universe.
Universe.
It's in the
like,
center core of Epic Universe. Yeah.
Yeah, Velocicoaster was like controlled danger. This one
Yeah,
felt
Well,
like,
I think the
Velocicoaster-
big.
What's nice
Or go
about
ahead.
Velocicoaster, sorry, Jason. What's nice
You're
about Velocicoaster is that you never feel like you're going to die. You're just having a great time on it.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. The
Yeah.
thing with Stardust Racers, which I mean, Kevin, you I guess didn't experience it, but the to help you, the differential here is Velocicoaster is about velocity and speed, and you do turn upside down, but you're moving forward very smoothly. Stardust Racers, it plays around with like the feeling of like G-force going up and out of the seat and then coming back down. So there's like parts where you go up, like, up and down these humps really quickly. It's kind of like you're going up and down like a camel's back or something. And that bounce of you kind of going out of the seat and into the seat and out of the seat into the seat is much more extreme.
But you definitely get that.
It
in
feels
Velocicoaster.
rockier. You get that in Velocicoaster, but it's smoother and it's not as rapid fire. If that makes sense. Like there's a part in Stardust where it goes like do like that, and then Velocicoaster's like do.
There's
you know?
2 points in Velocicoaster where you feel the G-force like pushing you up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it like
where you
sustains
feel
it.
the
It's
lap
not like a
save your life.
bouncy. Yeah, but it feels it's a little more sustained. While Stardust
for me, it was
Racers
more
is
the
more
lateral
like
movement
dot, dot,
than
dot,
the
dot, dot, dot.
vertical movement. But again, that's just me. But you know, it's at least that's with those roller coasters. I think they had kind of the opposite effect. I think one of the few times I think I enjoyed Tron as much as I did because of how many times you said before we wrote it. It must have been at least like 5 or 6, maybe more.
Oh, how
about
short it is!
Of how
Yeah.
short this ride is. And
It's 45 seconds.
yeah, you were pretty much just like every couple seconds just like describing like how short the ride is. So like by the time I got on the ride, like it felt like, whoa, that was way longer than I expected. I think I was just ready for like a super short ride.
It was
And
somewhat
maybe it is
to-
by normal ride standards, and I'm sure having a fast pass helped. But I was like, this felt like the perfect size ride. It gave me like a better impression of it than I otherwise would have. And then I think I don't know if it was you or our other friend that hyped up the Guardians one so much that one, like, I think I ended up feeling like a little disappointed by it just because of how much you guys kept hyping it up.
Oh, really? Cosmic Rewind was
He
like
he did not
perfectly-
like Cosmic Rewind. Yeah.
No,
man.
What?
I mean, bro, you came out.
I didn't come
when
out.
you came out, and you're like, it was
with the
fine.
beginning, like, oh, that was amazing,
Oh, it's gonna
right?
be
That
fun
was
to
like,
edit.
that was so awesome. And I'm like, it was cool. Like, it was just like, I don't know, like Space Mountain, but a little like
What song?
more.
What
I mean-
song did you guys get?
We got. Oh God, I don't remember. One of the ones we got when we went, Kevin. It was a repeat. I don't remember which, but
because
Rachel
the
did
one that
immediately
we
go. Oh, we've
got-
heard this one.
We got it twice when we went. It was One Way or Another by Blondie.
Yes, that's what we had, one way or another.
Oh yeah, that's what we had.
I wonder
But
if
yeah,
like, is the iPod just broken where they're not playing the
The
other
shuffle
5
isn't
songs?
shuffling. No, we went 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. One time we got a different song. Last time when we went with you, and then this time we're back to the.
Jesus.
right,
I don't know if
we
there's
got
like a.
four times and only one
We got
different song.
September. We got September by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I wonder
you
if
guys
it's like an
September?
odds thing. Yeah,
But yeah,
that would have made Angel like the ride a lot more.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
mean, we
I like
were
one way or
very.
another.
I mean, Angel, it's funny because you're like, oh, it was basically like Space Mountain, which is literally what we were telling you. It's like a souped-up Space Mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys, I don't know, made it sound.
The part we didn't
More
tell
so.
you, the part where it's like Space Mountain, but it does something really cool. And the thing that does it really cool is how it like you think you're on one car that's all facing forward, and then suddenly each set of 4 branches off in different. Like you're on one track, but you start spinning in different directions. So you have like this fake out that you're all like in a bobsled, a la Matterhorn, or you're in like the normal
I
roller
think,
coaster of Space Mountain, but then suddenly someone's spinning right and someone's spinning
Like-
left, and yeah.
like first, let me just say, like, for all those rides, no matter how overhyped I ended up feeling they were, like, I still like them at a base level. But I think the best way I could describe how I feel about them is, I guess, like how big of an impact the anti-gravity mechanic was in Mario Kart. It's like it makes for cooler track design, but ultimately the ride itself didn't feel that much different than Space Mountain. Like the biggest difference I felt was the music. Like even the fact that the chair spinned midway through didn't feel like it added enough for me to be like, oh man, this is crazy. It just still felt like Space Mountain.
I mean, a lot of Disney World is just souped up versions of the existing rides.
A lot of the rides. I mean, like you could argue that Tron
Expedition
also
Everest
just like
is
Space
Matterhorn.
Mountain. Like
No,
like,
that's different because it goes outside and it goes a lot faster.
Well, yeah, for like a couple
and it's
seconds,
a totally different track
but-
design.
I mean, I would still argue it's very comparable to Space Mountain. It's
The
still like an
inside
indoor
part, the
dark
back
coaster.
half is, yeah.
Like the back 2/3, but you're only outside for
But then,
one,
like, by that
per-
logic, every outdoor coaster is no different than every other outdoor coaster, except if it does something like Velocicoaster, it feels a little different. Like,
I mean,
not
there's
every
a
ride's
comparison
revolutionary.
point, but yeah, the way you sit down, like, obviously does have a big impact on it for sure. And obviously
Tron, yeah.
Yeah, for Tron, like, that was really cool. I mean, that's why I think like Tron ended up having the biggest impact on me, because you guys just talked about the difference of the track length. You guys didn't really talk about the way you see the way you're seated, or
Yeah,
even just
you're
the theming
seated
of
like
it.
it's like you're on a Tron bike. Like, you lean
Yeah, the fact-
forward and you,
Yeah, the fact you're actually like kind of like racing along, you're doing the Tron bike thing, you're jumping over their path and then you're blocking them and then they crash, you're going through the gates. Like, I felt like I was able to, I don't know, I guess it stuck with me more than the other one.
That's fair.
But you know, like, I mean, as we mentioned the last podcast, like, there is definitely like the themes. Like, there's just a lot of variance on the indoor coaster. There's obviously a lot of variance on the look at a screen with 3D glasses, you know, the Harry Potter one versus the Spider-Man one. They all do it a little different. The Harry Potter one, I think, kind of left me wanting more. I really love the Spider-Man one, but the queue for Spider-Man was awesome. But
You mean
yeah, you know,
the queue for
I mean, the queue for Harry Potter was awesome.
Yeah.
But the ride left me wanting more. But yeah, the ride itself for Spider-Man.
I kind of felt the
was
same way about
cool.
Harry Potter, about the Escape from Gringotts, for those wondering which ride we're talking about. I felt kind of similar to that. I was whelmed. Not overwhelmed, not underwhelmed, just whelmed. It was fine. I enjoyed it, but I was like, okay.
Honestly, a lot of that, it's like being teased at the end. Your car gets like hitched by the dragon, and then, you know, it's kind of similar to Spider-Man's, where he webs your car and then you go into like a crazy city flinging thing. And then in this one, it's like, oh damn, we're about to get like taken for a ride by the dragon, but he just kind of like crawls up a tunnel and then that's it. And like the ride literally ends right there. And I'm like, oh, like, I thought that was where it's gonna get good. So,
Right.
you know, it was all teasing, but well, I didn't expect to have a Florida version 2 episodes.
Yeah, seriously. Welcome to episode 82, part 2. So anyway, about the Mario Galaxy movie, guys. Let's dive into more impressions of that now.
But yeah, the Donkey Kong ride, I feel like just got better the more times I wrote it, which is just one more time, but even without the music. But I mean, there's obviously a lot of other reasons factored into it. What have we been talking about? How did we even get here?
Kevin went to Disneyland and went on Tower of Terror. Yeah.
I will say, just to, well, I mean, if you guys have more to talk about, but the last thing that I want to talk about, Tower of Terror wise, or I guess Guardians wise, was, man, the rocket animatronic is so good.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane. I was like, damn, this thing looks incredible.
They've gotten
a lot
really
of the
good.
animatronics look really good. Like the Cars ride, I kept looking. We went on the Cars ride twice because that was also like a 20-minute wait. The Mater animatronic, before, you know, the Cars do the race, I was like, man, this looks really good.
Oh, all of
There's-
Cars is so
there's
impressive.
some stuff that
yeah.
looks really bad though, like the Little Mermaid. Like they were looking.
Yeah,
rough.
that one needs a.
I mean, that is a lot older, yeah. But no, Cars blew me away the first time. It really felt like it was the animation come to
Yeah.
life in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah, if that's one thing that just super awesome to see. With it's just, you know, the level of immersion whenever you see these, like, you know, the modern technology used for these kinds of animatronics, and it's just really
Yeah,
cool.
but-
Like, that stuff is just so awesome. Like seeing Cranky, and, you know, even if DK's move at the end, like, was like, you know, like a little slow, like it was still great. Like, I don't know, but yeah, Mater was really good. That was definitely a standout one. Like
Mater
the
and
Cars one.
Rocket for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, Rocket in the pre-show was good. A lot of the stuff in the Star Wars one is really good. Maybe because you don't see it for a long time, but the big
Rise
the
of the
big ticket Star
Resistance?
Wars one. Yeah,
Rise of the Resistance?
Yeah, the trackless ride. Yeah, that one has
Yeah.
like a lot of cool.
Yeah, that was
like,
cool.
scenes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It
I remember I was
I
sitting,
didn't
had
know
some
this.
buttons on the side, and someone's like, "Those are actual buttons," and told me to stop.
That's funny. Not that they'd actually do anything, one would think. I didn't realize this, but like 2 years ago maybe, Rachel and I got invited to go to the Magic Castle, like the Magic Club here in LA, but not to see a magic show, to a special like talk panel with people that make animatronics. It's a timeshare. You too can own a part of the Magic Castle. No, it was a panel all about like the magic of animatronics and how they do it. I didn't realize the animatronics are not fully in-house. I thought like Imagineers made them for Disney and Universal had their own team. There are external companies that work in conjunction with Disney and Universal and other parks to make these animatronics. And those folks kind of jump around and do different rides for different companies. One of the guys at the panel was even saying, I'm working on some cool stuff for Universal right now that I can't talk about, but it'll be coming to Japan first, which I'm pretty sure was him saying he's working on the Donkey Kong animatronics, because this would have lined up timeline-wise. But it's just, I thought it was really interesting that you hear all about... Yeah, you never know, but I'm going to assume. But I just thought it was so interesting that you always hear about like the Imagineers and their talent and all that. But there's this whole like cottage industry of like other freelance animatronic companies that just like really are behind the scenes doing it all. So I just thought that was very interesting that this even exists. Just like, and there's like a convention they all go to like once a year, like in Florida, and it's like a whole thing. It's like literally a whole industry of just animatronic builders.
Yeah, another thing that I don't think I mentioned before, but kind of like to a point of like these like Imagineers / Universal Imagineers. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know what they call themselves at Universal.
Dreamers,
epic
universities.
Epic news. But it's funny because like I was talking about the Florida trip with a friend, and they were talking about how. They were talking about Universal as a whole, and they were saying how much they dislike, or I don't know, maybe, well, essentially they were like, they're not a fan of how they handle audio, or I guess like the transitional music between areas, or how in some areas you could still hear like a lot of the other music, unlike Disney where, they make sure that once you enter a certain area or you pass a certain threshold, you can't hear the music from the other place. But then I pointed out that, like, well, like, they hadn't been to the Nintendo area yet, which is the point. Because in the Super Nintendo world, just going up the stairs, they do such a good job of just, like, you hear, like, the Peach's Castle theme, to hearing, like, the Overworld theme, to when you get near Bowser's Castle, you hear, like, the more Mario Kart-y Bowser's Castle theme. And it's just crazy how, like, just going, like, 3 or 4 steps, like almost completely drowns out the other song. You almost have to intentionally like stand right in the middle to hear both. And I just thought that was really impressive. Or, like even as you're going through like the tunnel, like you could tell they put a lot of love and care into it. And as another friend
and the warp pipe sound effect. And,
yeah, like that they did like poach a lot of like Imagineers for this. So, it makes sense.
There was an inflection point where Universal went from being like, we're just screens and stuff, to like now building like real. I think Harry Potter was like, actually the inflection point where they started to do fully immersive worlds at a higher level than Disney. Like Galaxy's Edge is them catching up with Universal Disney.
Yeah, this creation of FanFest and even these fan nights, or what are they?
Yeah, FanFest nights. Yeah, which I'll be giving impressions of next episode because I'm going in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
yes.
I want to. Hopefully, you can record the full Yoshi story performance by the 4
Oh, I'm so excited for that. It looks like some sort of cult sacrifice, but I'm so excited. All the Yoshi. So this year at FanFest, I'll talk about it more next episode, but just to clue people in. This year for FanFest, there are 5 different colored Yoshis you can meet throughout Super Nintendo World. Last year, there was blue and pink as well as the regular green. But to meet blue and pink, you had to do a scavenger hunt and get stickers. This year, they're scrapping the scavenger hunt in a way so you can instead meet the Yoshis throughout various parts of the park. Of Nintendo World, but then there is a green Yoshi with a Mario in a joint photo op that if you do a little scavenger hunt of sorts, you can meet. So they kind of flipped it. But I think on the hour or every hour, whenever the Yoshis come out for their photo ops, before they go to their spots, they march together up to the center of the area of Super Nintendo World, like where the Mario photo op normally is. And they all put their hands up in the air facing each other and then sort of turn to the audience and start swaying their hands. And then they start playing the ba, 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 ba music. And it's just the best, I imagine. I can't wait to experience it in person. I want to be part of the sacrificial.
Yeah, I definitely don't plan on going to FanFest, but I did watch like a video and it's just funny just
It's adorable, and it really does feel like it's like a, a cult.
They just try to play like the ending credit song, and they just dance to it. Like they've got a whole little choreography. As much as you can choreograph these very clunky suits, but it's just funny. But yeah,
I'm so excited.
But the fact that FanFest exists and that it allows them to pay tribute to stuff like One Piece, the fact that they turn the what's that water show?
Waterworld.
Into a One Piece show is like.
Should we save some of this for when we talk about it next time?
I mean, you'll have actual impressions. I thought you were gonna go to the One Piece stuff.
If there's time, I will, because it's a cool theatrical thing.
All right. Well,
it's not the leading thing.
All right. Well, let's move on.
He wants to host so bad, dude.
No. My point is,
bad.
No. I'm only saying it.
If you had not interjected, that was literally all I was gonna say, and then just move on to the next thing.
Well, the only reason I point out is because we kind of doubled up on Florida. No. We doubled up on Florida and did a whole second thing on Florida, and I'm like, oh no, we're gonna do it again with FanFest. So. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure you're the only one that's been to FanFest. I don't know what other fan stuff they have. I think there's Sailor Moon and some Scooby-Doo stuff.
There is, yeah. And there's also a Harry Potter thing.
To what extent?
Here we go again. We're going deeper again.
I mean, to what extent? I have no idea. I know there's merch. Right. I had friends that came from Florida just to get the One Piece merch, only for it to sell out last year and not get any. So... Yeah.
Well, last year they shoehorned it in at the very last second. That's why. This year it's a centerpiece, if you will, of the whole experience.
Let's see.
I'm proud of that pun.
I wouldn't.
Well, okay. All right. Well, anybody have anything else?
Now we can start the podcast.
Yeah, we can actually start the podcast, and I want to move on from this fun discussion about theme parks to first of all, you guys are drinking, right?
I have water.
I finished my martini. I'm on to my White Russian.
I don't even have water, actually. I have one drop left in my cup. So.
I have other substances.
Okay, well, that's not what we agreed upon.
So no. I don't have drink.
Okay. All right, well. Yeah, moving on from I'm drinking a White Claw. Moving on from that riveting almost 40-minute tale that we had on the theme parks. I want to switch over from that nice wholesome subject to the subject of racism. Racism.
Not cool.
It's bad.
It's a problem.
Not cool. Not cool at all. It's a problem. You know when it was a huge problem? Back in the 1940s. During Major League Baseball, I saw the movie 42 today.
This was a setup to something. I was like, "Where are you going?"
Okay. I just thought I was off the cuff going to talk about racism.
I don't know. You're like, I've been drinking anyway. Racism. So who knows?
Is this why you waited for the 42-minute mark to talk about 42?
Oh, art. That is art.
Oh,
I
didn't.
Hold on.
I didn't even catch that.
You know what? I'm retroactively saying something. Angel, I paused the FanFest conversation to hit that 42-minute mark. I'm going to retroactively claim that to save my own skin and not make you mad at me.
I'm still mad at you.
So,
well, anyways, 42. It's a
failing
it's not a documentary. Biographical. No, what are these movies called?
Fact.
Factoid movies. Biographical, right? Biography.
Yeah. It's a biographical movie about Jackie Robinson, which was the first black athlete to play in Major League Baseball. Starring the late Chadwick Boseman and Harrison Ford. I don't know why. I do know why. YouTube surprisingly has a decent catalog of movies. Like last week, I rewatched all of the Ocean's trilogy because I love those movies. But then I saw that they had 42, and after work, I've been going to the gym, and so what I like to do is get on the treadmill, raise the incline all the way to the highest, and then just put on the movie. And so I decided on 42. How do I approach this subject? The movie's not great. It's good. It's a very, very safe biographical movie about Jackie Robinson, right? The legend that is Jackie Robinson. Chadwick Boseman, though, like, puts on a hell of a performance. And this was when he was still relatively unknown back in 2013. Like, when did Black Panther come out? That came out 2018, I think?
I don't remember.
That's a good question.
Or, yeah, 2018, because it was the same year as Infinity War.
2018.
Yeah, it came out the same year. Yeah.
That February.
And before that, he was in Civil War like 2 years before. But still, like 2013, like he was still like relatively like unknown at the time. And I thought his performance was great. Harrison Ford plays the manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers. For those that didn't know, the Dodgers were not a West Coast team when they started off. And so he decides to bring on Jackie Robinson because there is a sort of a black baseball players league, and Harrison Ford plays, like I said, they're not the owner, but I guess like the general manager of the Dodgers, and he decides that, hey, you know what, baseball has a pretty big black audience, and I'm a businessman, I'm going to make money, so that's why he brings Jackie. But at the same time, it was a little bit of trying to break that racial barrier, especially post World War II, when a lot of stuff was still segregated. But the movie is just very a very by the numbers biographical movie. Like, it doesn't. The direction is okay, like especially like some of the baseball scenes, which a lot of the times you don't see the ball making contact with a bat, like a lot of the times. Every now and then you do get that, but this isn't. I don't know. This isn't like Moneyball, where you see a baseball make contact with a ball a lot of the times. Harrison Ford.
Rogen?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Say that again.
Moneyball has Seth something, right?
Moneyball, what?
The lead.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. God, what? I think his name was Seth.
Jonah Hill. Yeah. Jonah Hill.
Is that his name?
You're thinking Seth Rogen.
Yes, Rogen.
No, wait. What was Jonah Hill's character's name? Seth in
Moneyball?
Superbad.
Superbad?
Superbad. Yeah.
He plays young Seth Rogen, and Superbad's based on Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg's life, and Jonah Hill is playing the Seth Rogen villain. Yes, so I see how you got there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
you're there.
Yeah, you're there.
I'm all caught up, and everything makes sense so far. Yeah.
Yeah, but Harrison Ford like almost plays up this person that he is I guess adapting for this. It's not adapting. He's playing the actual Brooklyn Dodgers manager. But aside from that, there's a couple of actors here. Some A-listers to some C to even D-listers that I did not know were in this movie. Christopher Maloney, who is like a mainstay in the Law and Order like franchise.
Stabler. Yeah.
He's in there. Lucas Black, who is the lead actor of Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. He plays Pee Wee Reese, who is another legend in baseball, who extends a hand out to Jackie. He's has maybe like, I don't know, less than 5 minutes of actual like speaking lines of like dialogue, but it's all right. And then the ones that I didn't see coming were Hamish Linklater, who is a character actor that I really, really like. Trying to think of what he's in that you guys might have seen. He was in The Big Short, which I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
He was just the villain in the second season of Gen V.
Oh wait, that's the one with The Big Short. I've seen this one. It's about the 2018.
That's Brad Pitt. Yeah, the crisis.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
He's one of the guys on what's his name, Steve Carell's team. He's one of those guys, and so he plays another character that extends out a hand to Jackie Robinson, especially during all the stuff that he goes through. And then the one that I didn't expect to see, because I haven't seen him in anything, is an actor that goes by the name of Ryan Merriman. Ryan Merriman was the lead actor for a Disney Channel original movie that's very beloved called The Luck of the Irish.
I've seen that.
You guys seen this movie? Yeah,
I've seen that.
So the main character of that movie is in this movie.
We're talking about the
like,
basketball Luck of the Irish, yeah?
Yes, the basketball Luck of the Irish, yeah. And so I was like, man, I haven't seen you in anything. Although he was in Final Destination 3 just a few years later, but not before this movie, after Luck of the Irish. But so just talking about the movie, it's a very almost boring, unfortunately, like movie. It's a very paint by numbers, but I mean, Chadwick Boseman does give it his all. He is really good in this movie. And more than anything, I came out of this movie selfishly thinking like, man, Chadwick had no right going out as early as he did, because this guy has chops, and unfortunately was taken too soon by I think it was colon cancer that
I believe it was. It was definitely some sort of cancer,
yeah. That more than anything, that's what that movie like. There is a story told here about overcoming adversity, especially early like segregationist racism. But still, like it still like pulled on my heartstrings. Like, man, this guy left too soon, and like I wish we could have seen more of him. But it is what it is. I am glad that this was his his breakout role that obviously led to him being known on an international level as T'Challa in the MCU. But that's just how it goes sometimes. But yeah, 42. It's a decent little flick. It's inoffensive is, I guess, the best word that I can use for it. Yeah. Racism's bad, okay?
Is it like
If there's one thing to take away from this episode, is that racism is bad.
That's racism.
And
bad.
you heard it here first. We're the first to say it. Racism is bad.
Yes, Jason.
Yeah. So moving on. Let's go to something a little lighter. The Pikmin Bloom Mini Walk.
Oh, yes.
This has Jason written all over it.
It does. It almost could have had Elvis written all over it, too. Except
I had to work.
Angel?
So how little was this walk? Like, can only a few veggies fit in there? Was it like a tiny stir fry?
It was like, ants, like little creatures called ants. It was the length of one ant body. It was a very mini walk. Very mini. No, but they call it a mini walk just because I don't even know why. I guess because it's not like they're now actually rolling out a more formal. So Pokemon Go, they're kind of modeling this after, because Pokemon Go is Niantic's first rodeo with this stuff. So Pokemon
Mega Walk to come, and it's going to be like a marathon, but just walking. So it's going to take like 3 times the time.
It's they're calling the mega version Pikmin Bloom Journey, and they're doing the first one of those. It's a premium in-person event, and they're doing the first one of those in Seoul this summer. Actually, Pikmin Bloom is huge in Taiwan and the other Asian areas. I think Taiwan's the biggest, but Korea's up there. I think Japan's up there. So they get a lot of the cool events. But they're kind of modeling after Pokemon Go, where first they did free events, then they did in-app ticketed events. So Mini Walk is free and it's mini, so then they could do the big one that's paid for, is I'm assuming how this came to be. But yeah, it was here in Little Tokyo. And like Pikmin Bloom, really, Pikmin as a whole has always kind of felt like the underdog of Nintendo. Like, I know they're all over Super Nintendo World. I know they're very blatantly in the Mario Galaxy movie. They have merch. They've been in Smash. And maybe it's because I just can't shake the lens I view them through. I
changed my mind.
No, but that's the thing. I'm starting to. But like, I think it's because like when they came out in the GameCube days, they were like this newcomer IP. So I've always had kind of looked at through that lens. I've always kind of considered Pikmin and its fandom to be like the gaming version of like, there are dozens of us, like Never Nudes and Arrested Development or whatever. So for like the longest time, I've been a big fan of Pikmin Blue. I've talked about it on the podcast for a long time. Like, I love that it's not just Pikmin, the game that you can like passively play by just going about your life. And occasionally in the game I see others plant flowers. I see other people attacking mushrooms I can join in with. And, I was saying, Elvis, you almost went.
Whoa.
What?
There's combat in Pikmin Bloom?
There is the ability to go tackle mushrooms, and when the mushrooms are destroyed by the Pikmin, you get items. Yes. So you send your Pikmin on an expedition to go destroy the mushroom, and in return you get items. And Elvis and I have become like Elvis is my IRL like Pikmin pal. Like that's the friend feature lets you call each other in to help with mushroom battles, so you both get the items. So almost daily, Elvis and I now go back and forth. With
the only game I consistently play.
So it's the only game that I consistently play. And you've upped our podcast count. We went from 1/3 of us playing Pikmin Bloom to now half of the podcast playing Pikmin Bloom. So, but yeah, my perception of Pikmin popularity is like slowly kind of evolving. But what really kicked into high gear was this Pikmin Bloom Mini Walk that we went to, or that I went to, that you almost went to this past week. It was here in LA. It was in Little Tokyo. And they've done a few of these around the world before now, perhaps most notably in San Francisco. They did in conjunction with the Nintendo store opening at Union Square. But here in LA, the only other event they've done is like a year ago, they did like a woman walking group. I forgot what it's called, like oriented thing. But this was the first time I've been able to attend one of these. And it was a lot of fun. Like they set up a physical booth. It's part of this like delicious Little Tokyo street fair neighborhood council promotion thing. They're handing out cardboard sun visors that look like 3 core Pikmin colors. You get like a red one with a full flower, a yellow one with a leaf, a blue one with a flower bud, and you like fold it and it becomes a little hat. They had like these little Pikmin field guide booklets that offered information on like what Pikmin are, and is kind of like a little like not anthropological, but a little like study of these are the creatures and these are how they work. And it also was a Pikmin 4 sales pitch in the back half of the book. They had stickers, they had a physical map of the mini walk itself that you could use to get around, and that map is actually the crux of the whole experience, which was the mini. Actually, no. Before I get to the mini walk, there was one other thing at the booth I should mention. They had a neat augmented reality photo booth that every company who does a physical brand activation needs to immediately copy. So the photo itself wasn't anything super special. Like it was cute. You basically stand in front of like a blue screen, you do a little movement, and then you pose. The whole thing's recorded. It's overlaid with flowers and Pikmin and augmented reality. And it's like a little animation of you and your recorded movement, and then it snapshots with a camera flash and it does your pose. And that's fine. But the part that everyone needs to copy is how you then receive the photo. Next to the booth was a big screen, like a 6-foot tall screen. And it would play back your photo fully edited with the AR effects almost immediately after you took it, like maybe 30 seconds later. And in the corner of the screen, in a pretty big spot, was a QR code that when you scanned, instantly opens a web page where you can download both the video and the photo. No emails needed, no text messages needed, no entering anything onto an iPad. You just scan the thing after you take the photo and you get your photo and video instantly. And I know a lot of companies won't adopt this because they want to collect all your information for marketing purposes. But everyone should adopt this because it is the best photo. As someone who's gone to many a Comic-Con, that is the single best, most streamlined photo op processing thing I've experienced. So if there's one takeaway from the Pikmin Bloom Mini Walk, get that photo booth. Anyway, the mini walk itself. So this was actually like the meat and potatoes of the event, right? And it's something that's still going in Little Tokyo. If anyone, Elvis, is here in LA with Pikmin Bloom and listening to this and wants to check it out, it's basically a virtual scavenger hunt that'll be going for another week. Niantic, who makes Pikmin Bloom, they worked with the Little Tokyo Neighborhood Council, I guess, to identify seven different little places around Little Tokyo. Each has a different type of decor Pikmin associated with it, which for those who aren't as familiar with Pikmin Bloom are unique Pikmin you can collect in-game that have themed outfits or accessories based on where you find them. So by walking around the neighborhood and getting close enough to each of the 7 special locations to swipe on them in the app, you're able to get the necessary gold seedling, and seedling. And you learn a blurb about that given business too, which is a nice touch and kind of ties in with why the neighborhood council was involved with this. But what was interesting to me about this event versus say like a Pokemon Go event from the time I used to play that game is how they kind of leverage what makes each game unique, and it's not just a repeat. Like I think when most people think of these sorts of mobile game meetups, something like Pokemon Go is probably what comes to mind, right? Like with Pokemon Go, it's very active. You're like doing raids that require you to pick moves and battle in real time. You're swiping at your screen nonstop. You're catching Pokemon as you see them. You have to be constantly looking at your screen. Pikmin Bloom, on the other hand, is such like a passive experience of a game. Like absolutely there's elements of active play. You can enable flower planting while walking, which ups how frequently you may discover new Pikmin or receive nectar to grow certain types of flowers on your existing Pikmin. There's all sorts of challenges you can do. There's, you can complete certain walking goals. You can plant certain types of flowers while you walk. You can sprout new Pikmin off your step count, or you can send Pikmin on expeditions to collect seedlings for other new Pikmin or to take down the mushrooms like we were talking about, which are all in preset geo-synced locations, kind of like gyms in Pokemon Go. And those mushrooms give you items when you defeat them. But none of that is real time in the way that Pokemon Go is. You're not needing to constantly stare at your phone to spot and catch Pokemon or Pikmin, or you don't need to swipe like crazy for a raid or a gym battle. With Pikmin Bloom, you just set it up and do your thing, and even if you don't set it up, it still rewards you whenever you next open the app based on your step count, based on location info it has access to. So for an event like Pokemon Go, you're going to have designated spots and really need to engage with the game at that one spot for a prolonged period. You need to stand there. You need to hammer away at an enemy. You need to recruit a bunch of people around you to build up the forces to take down a gym, all that stuff. With Pikmin Bloom, there's the mushroom battles, and it does help if you have more people participating, like how Elvis and I exchange invites. But again, it's less active. So I thought what was really neat was that while Pokemon Go events, they focus on setting up these specific artificial areas, essentially. Like they make environments where they then add additional gyms and raids and what have you, and they do it at the Rose Bowl every year and things like that. A game like Pikmin Bloom, it actually really became about exploring the neighborhood that it was in, like the existing neighborhood. Yes, there are still specific geolocated spots to go to, and yes, you will meet up with other Pikmin fans just by walking around the same area together, but it's really cool how it was just this takeover of Little Tokyo. We're talking how big's Little Tokyo? An 8-10 block radius? And that's well beyond, 7 individual earmarked spots. But wherever you looked, every which way, there are people walking around with those goofy Pikmin sun visors on. Because even if, and I say goofy lovingly, they're wonderful. But even if there are these 7 designated spots to go to, just getting in steps helps you. Just getting in the vicinity of other random flowers that may be on the map anyway to grab some extra nectar helps you. Just exploring helps you. And it made for an event that didn't feel like, hey, it's Pokemon Go, but with Pikmin, as many other geolocated games have tried and not necessarily landed. Monster Hunter had one, Harry Potter had one. But this felt like an event that actually felt like a real-life version of how a Pikmin game unfolds. Because, in Pikmin, you are exploring. You are crisscrossing every which way to find treasures and Pikmin and nooks and crannies of, this bigger environment that you're just in. And you're rewarded for exploring. And this kind of felt like that, especially since it was part of a larger Little Tokyo-wide neighborhood push with discounts and special activities at different stores and stuff. So it was very it came together very nicely. It was cool. And plus on top of that, to go back to my point about how Pikmin feels like such a small fandom, it kind of popped my Pikmin fandom bubble a bit because there weren't dozens of us. In the time I was in Little Tokyo, which was about a little over 2 hours, there were easily hundreds of us, maybe 1,000. I don't know. People were wearing and carrying Pikmin merch. People were cosplaying. There's a dude with a shaved head. He was in a red leotard and he body painted his whole head red and then put a leaf headband on top of his head and drew Pikmin eyes on the back of his head. Turns out the fandom's kind of big. So that was kind of another nice little thing of oh, everyone loves Pikmin. In fact, the fact that they're doing the premium event now really goes to show this is becoming a bigger thing. The Pikmin fandom is growing. So the whole thing was just kind of Pikmin big itself.
Since 3.
It's been big, but kind of under the radar to me, at least through the lens I was
looking
at. And this
I think the biggest
Yeah.
impact that I saw was when all the merch came out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a very good point. Yeah. And it's kind of it's like the thing I was saying about the Nintendo billboards at the top of the show here, where I was every time I see one, I'm still oh, it's so rare, even though no, it's not. They've been doing it for years. Kind of the same thing with Pikmin until I had this awakening of whoa, look at all these Pikmin people around me. It felt like it wasn't that big. The world, it's like the Pikmin games. The world looks so unassuming. But before you know it, it's teeming with Pikmin, right? Or people in Pikmin hats, I guess, in this case. But that's what made the Mini Walk fun is to have that communal experience where I didn't otherwise have that visibility into this community that I am a part of as a big fan of the characters and stuff. And then to explore and, get some neat physical swag along the way and experience a really cool AR photo booth. But yeah, it was just a really kind of fun little, wow, look at Pikmin Go. This is fun type of afternoon. And got some in-game rewards, got you some swag, Elvis, since you couldn't be there. So
thank you.
Yeah, it was a cool little outing. I hope they do more of them. I hope Pikmin Bloom's been a slow burn for Nintendo, but they haven't given up on it like they have some other mobile games. So I really hope that like stuff like this is a sign that it's just getting bigger and better. Because not only is it fun, and not only do I love Pikmin, it does motivate me to walk sometimes. They do community days every month where you walk 10,000 steps. And you get like a flower badge. There have been multiple times where I'll be like, I'll go get the flower badge, sure. And I walk, 4.5, 5 miles I wasn't planning to walk otherwise. So it does. My body is the controller, and it's making me healthier as a result. So, yeah, for every reason that I've listed, they should. I hope Pikmin Bloom, I don't know, blossoms, I guess. so that's the Pikmin Bloom Mini Walk, at least as I experienced it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Thank you.
Let's keep this Jason train going. Sayonara Wild Hearts, the Switch 2 edition.
Oh, yes. There's a weird theme, actually, that I noticed when I was, like, putting the list together of what to talk about and what not to talk about this episode. Because I kind of noticed that, like, these past couple weeks, everything I've been consuming is revisits of stuff I've already done in the past. Like, Pikmin Bloom I've talked about before, but here's this new physical event. Or, like, I went and saw a screening of Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping, the Lonely Island movie. But this time with a big crowd of Lonely Island fans, and Akiva from the Lonely Island was there for Q&As. It's like a very different way to watch the movie than in an empty theater when it first came out or at home. And then like another example is, I don't know if you guys are aware of the Nine Inch Nails, 9 Inch Noise album. It's basically the biggest songs from their career, but Boys Noise, they teamed up with this electronic musician Boys Noise and did like this dark brooding remix album that it's like their version of like Alive 2007 for Daft Punk, where it's like kind of live music but kind of not. But I've heard all these Nine Inch Nails songs for years, but now in the last week I'm listening to them in this totally different way and it feels new. And that Sayonara Wild Hearts kind of falls under this because out of nowhere this week, a Switch 2 edition of one of my favorite Switch games, Sayonara, just suddenly got released for free if you own the original like I do, which became the perfect excuse to revisit the game in a slightly different way now. So it's weird. Everything I've been doing the last 2 weeks kind of falls into this. But listen, any chance I have to gush about Sayonara, I'm going to take the chance and I'm going to gush. It's been years, I think, since I first talked about it, probably like 2019 when it was on Switch 1.
This is the Queen Latifah game?
She is. I forgot she was in it. Yeah, I mean, I remember when she came up on the credits. But yeah, she narrates it, and they don't reveal that to the very end of the credits. And I completely forgot. I was surprised how much I forgot about this game. Like, I love the game. I love the music. I've listened to music on streaming sometimes, separate from the game. But I totally forgot, like, half of the gameplay. And I forgot she was in it. And, what better time than now being able to like experience the game anew. It's at 120 frames on Switch 2. Its HDR is like super, like there are points where colors were flashing so brightly I literally had to squint a couple times. Like it was like, like when you step out of a movie theater and it's like really bright and you're like, oh, like that happened for like milliseconds during some of the sequences. And then much to my surprise, there's also a whole new mode tucked into this update as well. So yeah, for those unfamiliar, Sayonara Wild Hearts is as much a game as it is basically an interactive like concept album. Like on the game side of it, the whole experience boils down to two actions on your part. You can move with the control stick to collect hearts on like roads and paths in front of you, and you can hit time button presses to perform actions like a sword fight or a jump or whatever. But the different ways the game utilizes these two moves, from camera angles to the activities you're doing in game, like it's a lot of variety. It's really cool. It'll be behind the back, the camera. Then suddenly you're side-scrolling. Then suddenly it's pointing backwards towards you as you're running into the screen. Then it goes into first person. Then they put a gun on your bike. Then you're surfing on your bike. Then you're like inside a headset playing what kind of feels like a 3D Tetris if you played the Virtual Boy Tetris, anyone out there. Like the list just goes on and on of how they keep like manipulating these two functions to do all these different things. And to give you an idea of like the creativity of it, there's one particularly cool level. I think it was called like, I want to say Parallel Universe or some Parallel Land or something like that. But there's two people, and every time one of them snaps, the road you're on your bike completely changes. So you need to think, and they're snapping to like a rhythm. So you need to actually think about both layouts, pre and post snap, depending on who's snapping, and which you'll need to be in when, and where you'll then physically be at that time. And then they put a third layer on top of that. And so you start to see like patterns in the layouts between like each view, and you can kind of anticipate where to go next, all in rhythm with the music and the snapping. And that's only, that sort of thing is only like halfway through the game. All sorts of other interesting creative things come after that, but it's just they have fun playing around with them, how they can manipulate the game using the music, and it's a lot of fun. It's well executed. I think what really elevates the game is then how it's paired with the presentation. Like I touched on the HDR and stuff, but the game's visuals, I don't know, like I wouldn't say that the game matches up each beat of the song with like an on-screen button press. In fact, it doesn't always sync those up, but the visuals and like the key moments sync up with key parts of the music. Like a huge enemy will land on the stage the second a beat drops, or like structuring and visual. It just has like, it almost feels like it's like you're interacting with a synth pop album opposed to a game that has music layered on top of its gameplay. So it's not like the gameplay is all one-to-one with the beat, but what you're experiencing and how it's unfolding and how the music is intertwined with it feels like you're playing an album in a way. And revisiting those visuals with the higher resolution, 120 frames, it looks so good on TV. It kind of felt like when like a musician puts out a remastered version of one of their albums and everything just feels like enhanced. And some people, I mean, I know in those cases, some people prefer the sound of the original album versus the other, but the idea of like, oh, we took this thing that was in this older approach and we like revamped it and now it looks like this, and isn't it great? And that's kind of what this feels like. And really, if you look at the games through that lens of an album, that's where it shines brightest. Like if you look at it as just a game, it certainly has what you'd expect. Each stage has a high score to achieve. You're ranked by either like bronze, silver, gold. You progress pretty straightforward flow, level to level, world to world, encountering new bosses in each. The levels are broken up into like bite-sized pieces. Sometimes arguably a little too much so, with some levels only lasting like a minute or two and kind of abruptly cutting off when you encounter a new gang of enemies, only for them to actually be the next level. So that's a little funky. But there's no penalties. There's no death. If you mess up, it just rewinds the music a smidge and picks up where it left off. And it is rather short with all said and done. I think I played through the whole thing again last night. I think it was under 2 hours from start to finish. But if you view it through the lens, not as just like a game, but like a concept album, a lot of those choices suddenly make more sense. It's all about, as what a full-length album experience is like. So it's as long as a full-length album, perhaps even a little longer. You don't die because you're in it for the music as much as anything else. And death means not, getting to finish the track. So you need to stay alive. You mentioned Queen Latifah, Kevin. She's someone that pops up in music, not games. So if you think of it as like an album, it kind of, makes sense. And perhaps the most interesting of it all is once you beat the main story, you do unlock an option to play the entire album in a single run. And yes, I called it album because that's what it feels like. And this mode called Album Arcade, it's a single playthrough, one high score, one ranking earned at the end, no breaks for levels, no breaks for bite-size anything. It's just one continuous stream. And this is actually the way I chose to replay it with the Switch 2 edition specifically. And what's cool about Album Arcade is that it emphasizes the idea of experiencing the entire thing from start to finish. Like that's how a concept album would be. I'm positive I must have evoked this when I talked about this initially back in 2019. But I remember
you did verbatim.
Did I? But when I do remember when Linkin Park, trust me, this will connect. When Linkin Park came out with 1,000 Suns, which for them is their closest thing they've gotten to a concept album. They have individual tracks, they have singles, they have radio edits.
Also
whatnot.
not a good album.
I love that album. That's my favorite album of theirs.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
I know. But if you bought the album from the official store like I did, they also gave you an MP3 called The Full Experience. And it ran all the way through in one go with no breaks, no fade outs, no edits, just the entire thing is one big concept. I think that was a cool approach then. I think Sayonara doing it with album arcade mode, it's cool now. Like it's just that idea of like start to finish one go, it's even though that one goes like 90 minutes, it's cool. And the Switch 2 version does add a little extra value because it also has a mode called Remix Album. So they add this mode when it was introduced to the PS5 version, or when it was introduced on PS5, I guess I should say like a year ago or maybe 2 years ago. And if anything, if album mode is kind of like if this is like a concept album and it's like a remastered album and album mode's like the full thing in one go, I feel like Remix Arcade is like the chopped and screwed version of the album. Not so much the screwed, the pitches don't change, but at least the chopped. So instead of progressing like song by song in a linear fashion, it gives you 10-second slices at random endlessly until you die. Like each slice just dumps you into whatever that portion of the song would normally have you do. Then it's on to the next. There's a quick flash between of your score as you go, from one part to the next. Make one mistake, game over. So as an album, like I said, that kind of parallels remixes or someone doing like rapid fire sampling maybe. But what's funny to me is that this is kind of where the thing goes full circle on its inspiration. Now it's a game borrowing from other games instead of a game trying to be an album, because it's borrowing and very much feels like a Rhythm Heaven or a WarioWare. Like the remix mode in Rhythm Heaven or like the sort of rapid fire, see if you can make your brain make sense of it, of WarioWare, and it does work. I'd say the highs aren't quite as high as either Rhythm Heaven or WarioWare with this mode, but you can see where the inspiration is pulling from. Like Rhythm Heaven takes it further. It does entirely different versions of songs and blends them together with all the relevant remixes. WarioWare does the thing where each mini game, your jumping tube speeds up as you go. Here with Sayonara Wild Hearts, it's just straight up slice after slice at the same pace, with unique music pulled from each original level it's sourcing, not like blending them together in any way. But conceptually, you can totally trace the inspiration to those games, and it adds a different type of score attack to a game that already encourages replays and high scores to its other modes. And, like any album, you listen to it on repeat because it's good. The music's good. So, especially actually all the way it culminates in the end. I'm not going to spoil it, but if there's anything in the game that actually felt like its take on Rhythm Heaven's blending of mini games into one seamless remix, it's how Sayonara presents its final level or two. It is super satisfying. It's really cool musically and gameplay wise. I forgot how cool it was until I was doing it again. Like, right, this is why I love this game. Like, it comes together so well. So all this is to say, you should play this game if you haven't already. If you like synth pop, if you just want a still to this day unique experience, if you want the replayability of an album, just literally also the playability of a video game. All good reasons to get it. Best of all, because of the Switch 2 release, Annapurna is celebrating it. The game is on sale through, I think, May 13th for only $6.49. So if you think of it like an album, as I've been trying to pitch, you're getting a full-length EP with visuals, with interactivity, with kind of a remix album buried in it for the price of like one of those tiny little EPs that artists will put out sometimes. So definitely at this price, it's a no-brainer, I would say. It's very, very cool. And lastly, shout out to Annapurna Interactive. I sound like I'm paid by that. I am not. But in tandem with the Sayonara release for Switch 2, they announced a pretty stacked lineup of Switch 2 games, both upgrades and new. So alongside Sayonara Wild Hearts, the, I think, Switch exclusive puzzle game Lorelei and the Laser Eyes got a free update to Switch 2 as well. And then they announced that Stray, To a T, and Wanderstop will all be getting Switch 2 releases. And that's on top of already announced titles like Mixtape and 5 or 6 others. And it's just this cool trend that seems to be becoming more and more common. This thing of like third parties just bringing a ton of stuff to Switch, or Switch 2, I should say, kind of out of nowhere. Particularly upgrades or ports of existing games with like very little lead time from announcement to release. I feel like since December, we've been seeing this happen a lot. Of course, a lot of that is because Switch 2 hit the ground running with such a big install base so quickly. So now third parties are kind of like catching up. But it's just nice to see like a backfilled library, both for folks who maybe own lesser versions of the game on Switch 1, like Sayonara is just a cool update. But for those who never bought them on Switch, or maybe never even had a Switch, like it's cool that they're all accessible and enhanced on Switch 2, and more seem to be coming out. And I suspect that this trend is only going to keep ramping up given Switch 2 sales. I won't go deep here, but I am going to say Circana just released the US chart data for March. And off the back of Pocopia, which did very well, Switch 2 was the top-selling console of the month. And through leaked data associated with Circana, we know that translates to nearly 570,000 units sold in the U.S. in March alone. That's more than Switch 2 sold not just in January and February combined, but it's more than it sold in all of the busy November holiday shopping month last year. And even with some little bit of sales slowdown prior to the Pocopia bump, Switch 2's install base, 10 months in, remains 12% ahead in the U.S. of where Switch 1's performance was after its first 10 months. So I'll spare you guys going any deeper. Nintendo's full fiscal year financials, warning, those are coming out by our next episode. So I'll probably talk about it then when we presumably also talk about FanFest. But the point I'm getting at is that it's cool to get to reap the rewards of free upgrades to games like Sayonara because Switch 2 is selling at the pace that it is. Like, people may have their complaints about Nintendo's pricing schemes and what have you, but I mean, I'm getting and enjoying tangible upgrades to games I already love at no cost to me, and that's pretty awesome. So the more Switch keeps selling and the higher those numbers climb, the better it works out for me as a Switch 2 owner and someone who, has a library that's getting updated. So I will happily take it, and I encourage everyone to take advantage of Sayonara while it's on sale, because it's very good. So that's all I have to say on that.
Barrels going any deeper? Damn. All right.
What?
Now you said Sparrow's going any deeper, but I felt I got a very nice, thorough Jason breakdown, but
yeah. just wait. When those financials drop.
I mean, if this is deep, I guess your point is like we're going to the core next time. This is only surface level. So
just wait.
If you're not ready for this level of in-depth analysis at what Jason considers not even going deep, then oh man,
then hit unsubscribe right now. No. Please do not unsubscribe.
Yeah, prepare yourself by listening to some Steve Totello, some general market watch stuff, and maybe you'll be
go follow Matt Piscatella on Blue Sky and or LinkedIn. Go to the install base forum and get familiar with all the sales numbers. You said Steven Totello, who is someone that usually reports a lot on the business side of gaming.
Totello used to be the editor-in-chief of Kotaku.
Yes.
He works for his own...
Yes, GameFile.
His own
he has his own newsletter called GameFile.
I don't know whether I should be impressed that I even remembered that name, or the fact that because I obviously met Matt Piscatello.
What's crazy about the Totello poll is that he does cover more so the business side of gaming in his newsletter.
Because that is someone that
he's great. I love his stuff.
You've always referenced for your business stuff. To the point that I literally messaged them on Twitter and actually got a response from them.
Well, that was Matt Piscatella you messaged on Twitter, not Steven Totello. Yeah.
No, that's what I've been talking about. I don't know if maybe I said Steven Totello.
Steven came up a lot because he would always be the one that
as far as I'm concerned, is completely irrelevant to this conversation. The fact that I know,
but I'm telling you, it's not. That's what's crazy. you were indirectly correct, because he does do the business beat a lot. That's what I'm saying. But
okay, all right. Maybe I'm setting myself too short, but we'll call it failing forward. But I meant Matt Piscatella because as far as
he slid into his DMs.
As far as numbers goes, that was the person, and I did slid into their DMs.
Damn.
They gave me some. They just responded. I just asked a normal question, hey, digital sales. How can we know those? And he was like, "Oh man, I wish I had a good answer for you, but it really just comes down to the publisher, aka Nintendo, aka they don't want to release that stuff."
Yeah, and that's actually why you may have noticed when I was like, Pacopia did well, and I didn't elaborate. The actual software chart is really hard to read now because
but you could assume
a number of publishers don't have their data in there. For example, what's that game? Crimson Desert, right? That's a game. Crimson Desert. It would have been based on their projections from the digital sales they can't officially count. Sir Con at Matt Piscatella says it would have been the number one selling game in March on the chart. It's nowhere near number one because they can only count physical sales from certain publishers. Well, some publishers only allow physical, and some publishers will hand over the digital data, but a lot won't. So the only real way to get a sense of where Nintendo's numbers are at is now through Nintendo's own financials, which are also a little confusing because Switch 2 editions are actually looped in with Switch 1 games if they're digital. But if you buy the Switch 2 physical box edition, if you get Mario Wonder plus Meet Up at Balboa Park Switch 2 edition, blah, 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 in a box, it'll count as a Switch 2 game sale. If you get it as a download, it'll count as a DLC to a Switch 1 game. So even Nintendo's numbers are messy now. It's hard to track. Yeah. But it's really hard to get a feel for software, but hardware at least is still very concrete. Switch 2 was number one. PS5 was number one. That's much cleaner. So.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, the more you know. The more you know.
Well, okay. Switching gears from something as lighthearted as Sayonara Wild Hearts, I want to move to something that has been slowly ruining my life. For the last about month and a half, I've been playing a game called Marathon on the personal computer. Marathon is the newest Bungie game. Developers of such classics like the Halo series, and of course, the greatest 7 out of 10 video game of all time, Destiny.
You're with a drug.
What?
Wasn't it
Destiny was your
at one point?
Yeah, you had a Destiny dilemma.
Yeah, and
Actually, was it ever that bad compared to, I guess we'll say, Overwatch, Deadlock,
Destiny was bad. Destiny was real bad.
I feel like Destiny was the one you used to cite as being your problem more than the others.
Yeah, Elvis can probably attest to like how bad Destiny was.
Oh man, were there a lot of like, hey
My-
Kevin,
my-
can you come out to
you
play?
wish it
Oh,
was a problem.
sorry, I did my Destiny raids or whatever.
I mean, yeah, like I planned a lot of my calendar for, hey, it's raid day, and sorry, but I got to do the raid.
I do
The
that with
same way that
Tetris
people have
99
problems with-
Maximus Cups, but those only last about half an hour. And I have 4 days to do them, so it's not quite as extreme. But I feel you on a much smaller level on that one.
Yeah, Destiny I always called not the best 7 out of 10. Destiny was always the best, was the greatest 6 out of 10 video game I'd ever played. And Destiny 2 was the most middling 7 out of 10 game that I ever played. So that's why I bounced off of Destiny 2 pretty quickly. But aside from those two games, they actually also worked on a video game series called Marathon back in the like mid 90s. Jason,
Yes.
the original Marathon games
Was on
Marathon,
Mac.
Marathon 2 was on the Apple Pippin and Mac OS.
Yep.
So a little connection for you specifically.
There's a second connection about Marathon, if I may, very quick.
Sure.
Every time I see the logo for Marathon, I have to do a double take because the font they chose to use, particularly the M and the A, and the R, is very similar. If you pull up the logo, the old logo for Super Mario Brothers, like the box logo.
Oh, okay. I can see
Very similar font. And every time I see Marathon advertised or I see a banner for it, I'm like, is that the Mario font? And I have to like go recheck that it doesn't line up perfectly. And it doesn't. It's not the same font, but there's definitely a passing resemblance. More than a passing resemblance.
Well,
So,
Marathon is, well, first it's Bungie's first new game since Destiny 2 back in 2017. So we're looking at about 9 years of development time. And Marathon is unlike anything that Bungie has released because Marathon is an extraction shooter. For those that don't know, an extraction shooter essentially boils down to, it's sort of a battle royale, but instead of, landing in the zone and looking around for loot, you have the option to go into a zone with your own loot. And the idea is you're scavenging around, you're possibly against other players and the environment, so, NPCs, and taking weapons or valuables off of them and trying to leave the map with those valuables. So it's sort of like a cousin to the battle royale genre. This game takes place after the OG Marathon games, which I've never played, but apparently they're on Steam for free, but they're very antiquated. So I should probably just look at lore videos. But anyways, in this game, you play as a runner, which is, this far off into the future, which is, runners are essentially mercenaries who have given up their physical bodies in order to upload their consciousnesses, into shells, which are basically cyborgs. Runners are then dropped off onto a colony called Tau Ceti 4 that went dark after some unknown events, and there are different corporations and factions that are trying to get more info on why Tau Ceti went dark and trying to get a hold of some of the artifacts and the resources off of the colony that's being guarded by the United Earth Space Council, or the UESC for short. So that's the basic premise of this game. There are 6 shells, which act as the 6 different classes in the game. But there is a 7th shell that I'll get to later on. And, you know, the 6 shells, they're sort of your typical standard classes that you'll have in any other, like, Battle Royale game. Like Apex, you have your Recon class, you have, like, your Healer, you have your Assassin class, you have your, like, Speedster class. So there's 6 plus a sort of, it's not a secret 7th, but there's a 7th that I'll get to later on. And with future seasons of this game, it is a live service game, so add another live service to Kevin's live service corner of death, or whatever I call that that part of this podcast.
Kevin's live service hell. I don't remember what he called it.
Yeah. So you'll choose one of those 6 classes, and then you will choose your loadout. And loadouts are either comprised of what are called free daily sponsored kits, which you can get a limited number of these kits, and they're pretty basic weapons and pretty basic gear. Or you can use your own gear that you have extracted from previous runs. And then you'll choose one of 4 maps. The first map is sort of like this mountain area. The second is a swamp. The third map is sort of like this industrial complex with a lot of like closed, tight spaces. And the 4th map is only open for 2 days out of the week. Because it's supposed to be a raid-like experience, sort of like a Destiny raid. I actually haven't gotten around to play that yet, but I am looking forward to it. And then, you know, you'll load into the map, and you'll try to extract, or as this game calls it, exfil, with loot that you found or taken from other players. This game is sort of all about gambling, because if you die during a run, you lose everything. And that means all the gear that you found, plus all the gear that you entered with. So you're either gambling your own gear, or you're going into a map with a free kit, but you're most likely going to be at a disadvantage when you enter a map, because maps will typically load in with like 4 teams of 3, 4 to 6 teams of 3, depending on the map size. Or if you're playing solos, you typically go in with about 8 other players. There's essentially three game modes. There's the go into a map with trios against the other team, so about 4 to 6 teams there. You could go in solo against other people who are also running solo, or the third option, which actually ties into that 7th shell that I was talking about. So then there's the progression side of things, where not only will you just be extracting loot off of these maps, but you'll be completing contracts, which are basically missions for one of 6 different factions in the game. And these 6 factions all have sort of distinct personalities to them. Like the very first faction that is unlocked, they're called Cyber Acme. And they sort of get you acclimated to the world. They're the ones that are going to be giving you missions so that you can unlock the other factions as well. The second one that you unlock is called New Caloric. And New Caloric is all about, they're sort of the humanitarians that sent, food and medicines down to the colony at Tau Ceti 4. And now they want to know, hey, what happened to all of our stuff that we sent down there? So that's why, New Caloric is like, hey, runner, I want you to figure out what happened down there. There's a cult in the game called Arachne, which is essentially the PvP faction. That's just a cult that's telling you to go out there and kill other runners. There's another faction called Maida, which are basically the anarchists who just want to see you blow shit up because they hate the UESC. And each faction has what I'll call permanent seasonal upgrades as you level up the faction. So, like I said, New Caloric, if you level up their skill tree, you'll be able to buy like health kits off of them so that you could take them into runs. Arachne, they're all about like big, powerful weapons. So the more that you unlock their skill tree, the more like shotguns you'll be able to buy off of them. That kind of thing. Each faction each faction specializes in one aspect. Like I said, health items, heavy weapons, just general weapon upgrades. And so the loop of the game is you choose your loadout, you choose your faction contract, you choose your map, and then you choose what kind of game mode you want. And then you get in there, you go into a map, you load into it, and you either come out of the run with some good loot or you're going to lose it all. And that loop I have found to be incredibly satisfying, even when I lose all my stuff. It is a heartbreaker, but that just means that, okay, instead of going in with my own loot, let me just use a free sponsored kit, because I don't care if I lose this stuff, it's free. And let me just try to be a little bit smarter with how I play this next round. The game does have a story that's progressed by what are called priority contracts that are given to you by the factions. And you can follow along with it. You don't really have to, but like if you're interested in the lore, there's a huge like lore dump in this game. But the real stories that happen are the runs that you have as a player of this game. Trios and solos are two incredibly different experiences when you're playing this game. I have about 60 hours, and I think I've played maybe about 20 of those solo, and then 40, the other 40 with trios. Trios tends to be, hey, let's go in, let's have some fun. If we die, it is what it is. And not only that, but like, at the very least, if you are downed by, either the environment or by other runners, there's still a chance that your team can clutch it and revive you so that you guys can keep going. Solos is just a straight up horror game where you are just hoping to God that you don't come across anyone else because you're just trying to extract some resources so that you can unlock the next node in the skill tree for the PvP faction. And you're just hoping to God that once you decide to extract, that no one else is around, because it takes about a minute for you to extract. Essentially, there are beacons that show up every 5 to 7 minutes once you load into a map. That once you activate them, you have to wait about 50 seconds for it to fully activate, and then you have to be near it for an additional 10 seconds for you to extract. And during that entire time, all these beacons typically tend to be out in the open, so you are just a sitting duck. And not only that, but like when you're playing solos, every now and then you'll be like in a corridor just looting, and then you hear the pitter patter of some steps, and you're like, oh crap, there's another player in here with me. What are the chances that he has better gear than me? I just came in with a free kit. How do I know that this guy doesn't have shields beyond all belief and just wipe me out in one fell swoop? Solos is my preferred way of playing, especially is my preferred way of completing the missions. I feel that it's much easier to do that, to complete the missions by yourself than with a team, because if you're going in with a team, everybody has the possibility of going in with different missions. And so now it's just like, oh, am I going to be doing my mission? Are we going to be doing their mission? Yeah, what have you. But like I said, the real stories of this game are the interactions that you have with other players and just with the game overall. I have two different stories. One as a solo player. I forgot what map it was, but I entered a map solo just to test out my keybinds, because I have a very specific way that I want my player to move, or my character to move, and I do this thing where spacebar is not my jump, it is my change weapon, and scrolling down is my jump. Yeah, I've been doing this.
Scroll, I understand.
So
for jump.
Yeah, and then the spacebar is my switch weapon.
Crazy.
Because sometimes you over scroll, and so like it scrolls like too many times, and at least with spacebar, it's just you just click it once, and you know that you're just gonna switch over to the next weapon. I think it makes sense for me. Anyways, so I entered a map solo just to test out those keybinds, and I didn't go in with anything. I didn't go in with a contract. I didn't go in with a weapon. You have a knife at your disposal, and that's it. Well, anyways, I don't know how, but I was just like messing around with my keybinds at some point in this map, and another player passes by me. But he doesn't see me for whatever reason. And an extraction point was nearby, so I knew that he was going to extract. So he starts extracting. He activates the beacon, and I just run up behind him. I knife him 2 times, and I steal all his shit. And it was a lot of good stuff, like stuff that was better than some of the stuff that I had gotten to that point. And I was just testing my keybinds. And in one fell swoop, I just stole all his stuff. And it was the most satisfying feeling in the world, because I didn't go in there with a plan. And I was just able to get all his stuff, like, with no issue. My second one, and this one happened just yesterday. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, was that the loot you found there? Was that same loot you lost the other time you were disappointed in? Like you're over 2K.
I've been disappointed plenty of times. 2K is nothing. So essentially, everything that you put in your backpack has a value. So like weapons are typically like a couple $100, we'll say. Little knickknacks here will be 100, blah blah blah. At the end of a run, if you are killed or if you lose everything, it'll tell you, hey, minus $1,000. Or if you successfully extract, it'll tell you, hey, the stuff that you have in your backpack is like is worth $2,000, that kind of thing. Early on in this game, I would lose $2,000 worth of stuff, and it'd be so heartbreaking. I have gotten to the point where I'm losing about $8,000 worth of stuff, and I don't even bat an eye. But anyways, the other story that I want to talk about this game and why I love it is this being an extraction shooter, there is proximity chat, right? So me and 2 other players went into essentially the loot vault on the 3rd map, which is called Outpost. To get into the vault, we need to find key cards that are scattered around the map. Then you use them to let you into the vault. Well, my team and I were looting the vault. We got into it with no problem. And all of a sudden, we hear what is called a rook. A rook is that 7th shell that I was talking about earlier. Rooks are that 7th shell, but they're also that 3rd type of game mode that you can go in. A rook essentially will enter the map mid-match. Every match is 25 minutes. You load in and you have 25 minutes to do your thing. A rook will go in mid-match, so like 12 to 13 minutes by themselves, no gear, no contracts. It's essentially just a looting class, right? Because by the 12-minute mark, you expect maybe about 2 or 3 teams to be wiped out. So it's more of a, let me go see what I can scavenge and take out. So anyways, we hear a rook in the vault, and we're like, okay, there's 3 of us. There's no problem. And then all of a sudden, we hear that rook talking to another rook. And they start communicating. And they go, hey, hold on. Are you rook? And the other guy goes, yeah, I'm a rook. And then I'm like, okay, well, now we have 2 rooks that we have to deal with. And then out of nowhere, a 3rd and a 4th rook start talking. And we're hearing them communicate. And me and my team members are like, wait, there's 4 rooks in this place. Do we just leave or do we try to take them out? And then at some point, one of the rooks goes, let's just go hunt the non-rooks. And then within 30 seconds, we got destroyed by these guys. And they're hooting and they're hollering because they just stole all our gear. But that's something that they didn't have to do at all. As a rook, you are going in there by yourself. These 4 people that don't know each other, just by some sort of camaraderie, because they were all rooks, they were like, hey, why don't we just go hunt these guys? I lost a good amount of gear that I got in that vault. But something about just hearing those 4 guys just team up to destroy me was such a cool feeling that could just happen in the game. Not only that, but like there's other situations where me and my teammates are just trying to extract, and then we'll hear a rook again, and he'll go, "Hey, friendly, I'm just looting here. Please don't kill me." I'm like, "Okay, we'll let you leave." It's little stuff like that keeps me coming back to this game.
There's like an element of realism to that almost in like a unusual way for gaming.
Yeah.
Like it's something you see in a movie, like some guy coming through and you're like, okay, just go. Not in a game usually. So that's cool that's there.
Yeah. But like a lot of those situations are few and far in between, to be quite honest, because this game is brutal. This game is shoot on sight. You see another team, there is no, hey, we're just trying to complete missions. That happened to me early on in the game, where my team came across another team and they said, hey, we're friendly. We're just trying to complete our contracts. And we let them go. Ever since, it's been shoot on sight. There's that other game, Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is a very popular extraction shooter, where a lot of the stories that you hear in that game it's very friendly, where it's a lot of people that are just trying to level up their stuff, getting together to destroy the NPCs in the world. But this game is brutal. This game is just shoot on sight. I don't care how far somebody is, I'm shooting at them. But you come across those situations where, yeah, there's those little glimmers of hope and somewhat camaraderie of like, hey, I'm just trying to leave with some good stuff out here. Like, okay, go on your way. I've heard stories of people letting rooks go and then the rooks just betraying the players afterwards. He's like, oh, you shouldn't have let me go, and then just wiping out teams completely. And like, that's the stuff that keeps me coming back to this game. Like, I'm gonna start playing Marathon as soon as we're done with this podcast because I just want to play some more. It's a loop that is incredibly addicting for a person like me. This is not a podcast game at all because you definitely need to be listening to your surroundings, because you need to know the difference between a player and what an NPC sounds like in this game. And you have to be very quick with your decisions because the time to kill is pretty low. Yeah, this is my new jam, and this is what I'm going to be playing hopefully for more than a year, because unfortunately this game is not doing so hot. It's losing players every day. It didn't start off with the greatest concurrence. I think it started off with 88,000 concurrence on PC, mind you, but PC is also where this game sold the most.
Ooh.
And it's averaging, like last week it was averaging like 22,000. This week it's averaging like 19,000.
Is it the complexity?
There was a lot. This was almost a high guard situation where people just wanted to hate this game as it was coming out.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
The people that are playing this game, I think it has an overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam, because the people that actually play this game do actually love it.
Right.
As opposed to like High Guard, which had like
issues,
mostly negative reviews.
Yeah.
But that was also a free to play game. This game is $40. This game isn't free to play. What will really be the litmus test of this game is the seasonal wipes. And that's why I said, quote unquote, these are the factions give you permanent seasonal upgrades, because when season 2 starts, I think that it's in about a month, all of your progress and all of your vaults gets wiped. So everything that you just did in the last 3 months is gone. That's how these extraction shooters actually do work. Like the first one, or I guess the most famous one, is called Escape from Tarkov, and that's been out for years now, and that's how that game works. I'm pretty sure that's how Arc Raiders works, and that's been out for about 6 months now.
I see. Okay. Still.
So yeah, and that's another reason why, that's a barrier. Do you really want to play this game if you're just going to get all your stuff wiped, all your progress wiped?
Right.
I don't really mind that because I'm just so addicted to the loop of it. What's really going to dictate whether I play this into season 2 is I know that all my progress is getting wiped out, but are the like perk trees going to be exactly the same, where the very first thing that I'll unlock are more health kits, or is it going to be part of another skill tree or another faction upgrade tree? That's what's going to really dictate, because if I'm just repeating the same stuff every 3 months, that's no fun. I need Bungie to switch it up every month. Like, contracts have to be distinct enough for me to keep wanting to do them,
Yeah, no, that makes sense, because then it's just you're doing the same thing, and then they're like, "No, you didn't do that. Now do it again." If they're wiping it in between,
right? Least, if you're gonna switch, at least if they switch it up, I have a reason to go back to it, right?
Totally.
Obviously, they're talking about next season we're gonna have a new shell, so a new class. We're gonna have more weapons. I believe they said that they're gonna be making some switches to the maps. Something that has a lot of players pissed at Bungie is just how quickly this dev team is reacting to the player environment. So they're making a lot of changes to weapon balance. Almost like every other day, they're making updates, which is pissing off the Destiny 2 side of things, because the Destiny 2 players are now like, hey, what the hell? We haven't gotten an update in 3 months. And, that might be another reason why people are so hesitant to join the bandwagon, because they're seeing that Destiny 2 is not getting anything. And how do you know that Bungie isn't just going to drop this once, the next major Destiny expansion comes out? But like so far I'm loving this game. I haven't played a lot of games from this year or games that I haven't played from previous years, but this is my front runner for game of the year so far.
Wow.
Assuming it lasts
a
a
live
year.
service game. Assuming it. But you know what? If they shut down the servers tomorrow, I'll say, hey, those were some incredible 60 hours that I had with the game. Yeah, this is my jam. This is my brutality. This game just has me. Like, such a good game. Loving it. Would be
Glad to
interesting
hear
if it would come to Switch too.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it was on Switch too, I'd check it out. I'm glad to hear that it's like delivering for those who actually put the time into it, because I know Marathon has been hyped up for so long, and it was always like, oh, Bungie's going back to their original IP, and it's like this never-ending thing. And will they do it? Won't they do it? What will it be? So I'm glad that what they landed on is something that's resonating, at least with you. And
it's got such a cool like art style, and the music, like just the sound design is great.
The aesthetic of it is super cool. Yeah,
the aesthetic is it's like this awesome like futuristic cyberpunk like setting. It's
super colorful.
I love it. Yeah. Very vibrant. Like, oh yeah. I just hope it lasts, because I mean Highguard's not a great example.
Highguard was set to fail almost, not intentionally.
Yeah, but they were. Yeah. Like I said, it's not great that this game didn't crack 100K at its peak. Its first day was its peak at 88,000 players, and it's averaging 19 now. Yeah, it's not.
Damn.
That's not great. That's not great. Yeah, it sucks that so many companies put so many eggs in these baskets of live services where you really. Like,
I could do an entire podcast on Sony's
bad choices. Yeah,
Jim Ryan.
Yeah. I was just reading about how he essentially fired what's his name instead of
Shuhei Yoshida. Yep.
Yep.
Shuhei Yoshida, the guy that made PlayStation what it is now, and Jim Ryan. God, I hate him so much. That's Marathon, and unless anybody else has something, I think that's going to do it for this episode.
Does that mean I'm show noting it?
Cool.
Is this...
I'll take it as a no.
Am I show noting?
Jason, take us out. Yep.
All right. You know where to find us. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on... wow, I don't know where to find us. I just completely blank. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Pandora. We're on Amazon Music. We're on YouTube at Ram Nintendo. We are individually... or actually, we are collectively on Twitter at Ram Nintendo. And we are individually on the socials. I am JSR7 on Threads and Twitter. Kevin is KVN Gomi on Twitter and Blue Sky. Angel is World of Weros with an S on the end on Instagram. And Elvis is still a mystery?
A human on planet Earth.
He's a human on planet Earth with real thoughts and real feelings. Back to you, Kevin.
Yeah, we will be back. Ooh, the 12th, April 12th.
You mean May?
12th.
May 12th?
May 12th.
And get ready for Nintendo Financials, and get ready for FanFest night, and get ready for, I don't know what else we're cooking up.
I think I'm getting sick. I think I'm going to be sick that day.
Oh, shucks.
Angel, take us out.
Dinner.